Onye ma kemegiwa. That's the person you know is going to show you pepe. And in the past few days, a lot of you have been having a good time keeping up with the Okoyes. And the truth of the matter is that these are our favorites, and it's unfortunate that we're experiencing this right in real time. Most of you that grew up when P Square was, or was hot. I mean, they are still hot because those were the guys with the raw talents. They had the raw talents. They were creative, right? From the dance, from the song, from their tours, from their records, was banger back to back. You may find it a little bit interesting, but one thing I want you to look out for is that this might actually be happening under your nose right now. There are a lot of people currently having to deal with somebody they actually love or connected or started a business just because they like each other or they are friends or something is vibing or warming up between both of them and there was no contract. Now, this happens mostly among creatives, right? I mean, it happens outside, but my focus today is on creatives, right? I mean, I've been in that situation many times where my emotions was ahead of me, and I'm that kind of person that like to get things done, even if somebody is not, doing their own part or keeping up to their own part of the bargain. I like to cover up. I like to, be there. I like to just try to make things work anyhow, right? And at some point, a lot of people may not understand that kind of energy. They won't understand that kind of effort and definitely going to take advantage of you. Now, this is a situation of two brothers or three brothers. Two brothers, two are twin, and the other one. And it happened that a situation came where the elder needed to manage the both, and this is where it gets interesting. All right, in the next few points, I'm going to be walking you guys down through 10 things you must be looking out for. Even though you don't like to talk about leadership, you don't like the administrative part of things, you don't want to talk about money and all of that, you just want to create and be happy, just take time and look out for these 10 things. It's going to save you. And these are lessons from the Okoyes, the creatives version. Stay tuned.
Life will test you. Creativity will stretch you. Business will expose you. Strategy will save you. Let's build with intention. Stay brand-wise with Dr. Paul.
First lesson here is that trust alone is not a business system. It is not a business strategy. That you trust somebody doesn't mean that you should go into a business with the person, even if the person is your mother, even if the person is your father. Talk more of if the person is just your brother or your friend. All right? And this is like the greatest thing you should hold on to in 2026. If there's nothing life I've taught you in 2026, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my guy, we've been together for a while, I know him, I know his house, bro, run. In fact, recently someone showed me the kind of shege I've never thought anybody would show me in this life. And this is somebody I felt I trusted. And the crazy thing about trust is that when somebody breaks your trust, right, all you just sit down to do is to blame yourself. Because by the end of the day, if you're telling your story, people are like, oh, why is you telling us this? Are you the only person? Oh, why are you? Until you be in that situation, you understand. And the other person at the other side of the table is actually pretending as though nothing happened, right? So you should know the kind of access you give people, the kind of trust that you hand over to people, including your bank account, your password. You must put in consideration contract. You must know what royalty means. You must know what client relationships are, because some of us, right, easily pass on client relationship to somebody that we just trust, that we don't know how they are going to manage the clients or referrals. And till today, a lot of referrals have gone wrong, and people have sworn not to refer anybody because someone they referred to someone to do work for them have disappointed them. They have either fought to the person or betrayed the trust of the new client that was introduced to them, or something may just happen. The kind of access you give to this person have destroyed the relationship you even have with the person, with your client and the next person. It happens every day. Now, down to intellectual property and company documents, even invoices, payment platform, the access you are giving out to all of these things, depending on all of them, have to be documented. So trust alone is not enough. So these things, handing over these things is not something that you should just hand over to somebody just because you trust the person. That's concentrated power. If the person determines or gets angry tomorrow, you did not greet the person in the morning, or you did not greet the person's wife or husband, he can decide to do anything to you, and that's on period. So if you're creative listening to me right now, and you have people you're going to be working with, be it friends, be it colleagues, you guys should take this next few days and come up with contracts. Talk to a lawyer and stop that nonsense people are doing on ChatGPT. Get a lawyer. All those friends that came out from bar, call to bar, and they call to bar. It's real bar. It's not wine bar. It's not restaurant. They are called to bar. Talk to them. Few, thousands here and there. They can help you put a little bit of structure in that creative business. That is where to start. When we hear people create a business, we are not talking about sales alone and all of those things. Start with your contract. Start with documents. Know who has what. Know the kind of relationship and responsibilities each person in every part or any part of the business has, and stick to it. It doesn't matter who the person is. Because every time I needed a friend to, join a company and all of that, I told him he has to sign a document. I was like, I said, bro, you gotta sign shit. You gotta sign it. Because it is not about me and you, it's about the business. When we come out, we're gonna have a good time and all of that. But there has to be transition. If someone wants to take your place tomorrow, or we have a plan, in the next coming session, I'm going to talk to you about exit plans and all of that. Right? So it doesn't feel like we're having a hard feeling and all of that. It's about the company. And that is the very uncomfortable lesson you guys need to learn on this particular one. Family is not a substitute for corporate governance. So I had the opportunity to work with a lawyer. I was recording a podcast for her, and I began to learn about corporate governance, sustainability, and all of that stuff. And I realized that it's quite a lot of us don't know and don't even want to know about. Now, in the past 3 years, she has been coming on my platform, and I want you to follow her, right? And she's going to be giving you a lot of advice on corporate governance. Every creative watching me right now should go and learn what corporate governance. Before your company becomes big, there are little steps, there are things you actually should know. This is actually a huge lesson for you all. My love my family is not equal to corporate governance. You can love your brother and still have a shareholder or shareholder agreement. You still have employment engagement. You still have who does what, defined responsibilities, reporting, accounting. You still have how the business operates, how the accounts work, who does the approval, who has independent account, who documents what, and who owns what, who controls what access. In fact, the closer the relationship, the more important the documentation should be. And it has to be open to everybody, because when strangers fight, the contract can tell you what we agreed on or what was agreed. But when family fights, it's a different conversation. Everybody starts saying things like, but that's what we agreed. That is what we agreed. That's because it was said with mouth. And suddenly everybody remembers that agreement is different. Oh, it's family now. Oh, you should settle amicably. But somebody somewhere has been cheated, and somebody somewhere is hurting. And you don't want to be that person. Never let the person where they count the money be the only person that knows how much that is existing in that account. You see the way some people, when you go for wedding, people are dancing, shaking body. 5 people are picking money. You don't know who is picking money. Some people even put chewing gum on their legs. Be matching on the money, stepping out the money. 5 people are. More than one person should know exactly what is happening with the company's account. Because Peter's testimonial in the EFCC case reportedly includes his claim that he had no access to the group's money, and that he discovered corporate information concerning Northside Music. Now, the truth of the matter is that this Northside Music conversation used to bust my head, because there are a lot of Northside and they are moving north. Then the money was going south. He created 1 north, 2 north, 3 Northside, Northside Entertainment, Northside Inc. Northside just full everywhere, just to confuse and bamboozle and befuddle, everyone, right? Hashtag Northside. When you don't know what is going on in your bank account, your money is actually heading to the north. I'm so sorry, this is not one. When you don't know what's going on in your bank account, and you have a manager or have an accountant, trust me, you and your business is heading to the north side. And it's not good. North side, no, you don't want to go there. Now, he has no access. He has no information of what is going on in that particular space. So, and he said he knows nothing about it right in front of the EFCC. Now, whether the allegations ultimately hold up in court is a separate question altogether. But the business principle is valid regardless. So you are the artist, you are the creative, you should know your money. You should know your money. I've been teaching this, and I have like series of conversations coming up, right, where I insisted that you may not necessarily be the accountant or the admin, but you should have a detailed report on what is going on per time. It doesn't matter who is managing it. You don't necessarily have to become an accountant, but you should know what your money says, how much is coming in, where the money is going, what percentage belongs to what, and what percentage belongs to who. Who are we servicing? What are we servicing? It has to be in your head. So what expenses were we deducted and all of that stuff, right? I've had a situation where I had a young man work for me, and it came to a point where he was making expenses. I wasn't seeing what he was doing, right? I kept on following up. What's going on? Let me see what you're doing. Let me see what you're doing. What's going on? A month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months passed. Before I knew it, he disappeared from the scene. Perhaps he's thinking that, okay, I'm coming close to understanding what's going on. Meanwhile, there's a system those things were supposed to be managed from. And again, where is the money right now? A creative saying that I don't understand money, my manager handles it, is a very dangerous approach. Very dangerous approach. So follow for part 4, because after all, this whole video was up to part 8. See you in the next one. There is a difference between an account officer and a manager. Your account manager should not become the financial black box. Now, a manager is supposed to manage the business, and that doesn't mean that the artist or you, the creative, should become completely blind of what the business is about. So management, everything under involves bookkeeping, negotiation, scheduling, strategy, partnerships, career development, etc. Finance looks into accounting, reconciliation, reporting, tax, payments, audits. Now, when we talk of ownership, it includes company shares. These are the places lawyers are going to play a very huge role. Company shares, catalogs, trademarks, publishing. This in line with musicians, but as a photographer, as a graphic designer, as developer, there's a place all of these other things play a role. Now, one person can have responsibilities in several areas, but one person having unchecked control over everything creates a very dangerous dependency. That is where all of these things become very complicated. Somebody is doing it for you doesn't mean that you are completely oblivious or completely free. Somebody is already handling it doesn't mean anything. And it is not also a call for you to start doing it. It's a call for you to understand what it is, how it works. So you ask the right questions at the right time. Nobody is going to bamboozle you. The creative, do not think that the only asset you have are your laptops, your keyboard, your camera, and all of those things you can see. Your access is also a major asset, because creatives tend to think that their assets are just these things I mentioned: camera, laptop, studio, logo, Instagram page, and all of that stuff. No, your access is also your asset. Who has the access to your email? Who have the access to your bank? Who have the access to your Instagram? Who have the access to your YouTube? Who have the access to your website domain, your cloud storage, your payment processors, your music distribution account, your contracts, your client base, your intellectual property? Who have those access? Imagine building a business for 10 years, struggling, and discovering that the only person who knows the password is somebody you are now fighting with. You see, that thing right there is not friendship. That's a very big problem. Because a business, one of the reasons we do that in a business, because a business is continuity. Now, if somebody was working with you, maybe on a very good day, the person traveled, is not around, somebody should be able to take, charge of that next thing and change the necessary passwords. So, very important. Know who have the access. Do not confuse being uninvolved with being free. That is not sweet. That you are not involved in the day-to-day running doesn't mean that you are free from anything. If trouble happens, whether you are there or you are not there, so far you are the subject of the conversation, you are the creative there, you are the artist there, it's going to touch you. The one particular important thing that artists or creatives needs to know is that you have a manager doesn't mean that you are free from every other thing. I just want to create, let somebody else handle the business. Oga, that sounds liberating, but there is a hidden price you are definitely going to be paying. If you don't understand your business, you become dependent on whoever does. And dependency can also become vulnerability. You need to personally negotiate every contract with everybody. This thing has happened before. Like music artists, especially gospel music artists, have always had this problem. Oh, let me be praying, let me receive from the Lord Jesus Christ. Let somebody else be managing all of that. Bro, put that is not happening in your 100k doesn't mean it won't happen in your 10 million tomorrow. So you don't need to reconcile every transaction whatsoever, but you need to understand everything and ask intelligent questions. Now, the bigger your success, the less informal your system should be. Now, the more you begin to make more money, the less informal your business should be. That means you have to also even learn how to lock people up. Now, this is probably like, what happens every other day, because when businesses become small, maybe you're earning 100k, you can get away with small problems. Send it to my brother, it's fine. At 10 million naira, you need documentation. 100 million naira, you need proper accounting. You need to employ an accountant. At international scale, you need serious cooperation, legal and financial structure. Your systems must grow at the speed of your success. Else, see what happened to P-Square. Enormously successful. But the public history shows that the disputes over the management, finance, and creative control existed alongside the problem. So as they were growing, the problem was also growing. As more money was coming in, more problem was also coming in. Now, I know a lot of you will not like to hear this, but it is what it is. Every creative partnership needs an exit plan. You need to have an exit plan, not that you're entering something for you to run away. Or, I'm my friend today, tomorrow, I'm not doing anything with the person, I want to face, bro. Like, anything can happen. Nobody enters partnership thinking of running away or one day something is going to go wrong. But that's exactly why you should discuss what happens if anything goes wrong. Anything going wrong might necessarily not be quarrel. You have to consider all of these things. So what if the person wants to leave? What if the person dies? What if the person becomes, incapable? He's blind, or he cannot work, he can actually do anything, all right? One person stops contributing. What if one person wants to sell their own shares or bring in somebody else? What if the partnership ends and the brand continues? What if the catalog gets divided? What if the company decides to dissolve? So let's not think that exit plan has to only be when people fight. No, it doesn't have to always be in that direction, although it might occur. But think of it this way: anything can happen, eventualities can happen. So you always need to have an exit plan in case if you have any partnership whatsoever. All right. So they don't tie you and anything, even the business, even a whole. See, I think it's just recently we began to learn a lot of things on the social media, on the internet, right? Recently, it was announced that Tony Elumelu, have stepped down from being a chairman of UBA Group. Now, a lot of people don't understand what that means. Some people will think that he's no longer. No, he still have a stake, a share. He's still a major stakeholder in UBA, but his job as the CEO chairman, that's where he's stepping down from, and now he's taking up another role. I think in separate energy or something of that nature, right? That is how corporate governance works. Anybody can be a CEO. You can be a CEO, but once your corporate governance starts working well, when your time is done, when you've done your time, that means now at this point your business has become a transgenerational business, because it's now relying on other people's effort. It's no longer done with emotions. My friend, my brother. Your goal now is to have other people interested or benefiting from that business for the lifetime of the business. That is how we have like things like old money, all the money that have stayed. It's not get rich quick scheme, get rich quick scheme. Whatever that is. And number 9, your brand can survive a bad month. It may not survive broken trust. But you see, when a trust is broken between yourself and someone that you trust, the business was all about trust, it might not recover. P-Square wasn't just 2 musicians. It was a brand, a catalog, a performance, an identity, a commercial enterprise, a culture phenomenon. And yet, the relationship underneath the brand became so damaged that the business itself could no longer function. as it once did. So what does that explain? The strongest creative brands are not built on only talent. They are built on relationships, structures, incentives, and trust. And those things have to be deliberately maintained. To be honest, I don't care who you are. I don't care like where you are watching. Maybe you made all of those mistakes. You've listed, you are watching the whole show, Keeping Up with the Okoyes, and you are vibing. Bro, better go back and begin to fix the things you need to fix. And sure of the matter is that I'm not trying to like put fear in you, but the time I started doing all of that, it actually helped me, right, as a person, detach myself and emotions from business. I can go into contract with anybody, even my mother. All I just need to introduce a lawyer. And I don't have to tell my mother a lawyer is coming. I said that, our manager is coming, he's going to reach out to you, blah, 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 blah. So my mom knows that, bro, like this is a business between this and this. So I'm just, part of the transaction. So it's not doing business with me, it's doing business with the company. Finally, do not let your business become an extension of your family dynamics. Let your business become an extension of your family dynamics. Family has history. What business have is objectives, and that's on period. So those two words operate differently. So if your brother is your manager, every business disagreement can become, you don't respect me, what mommy say, you're not doing it. If your sister is your business partner, you hear things like, after everything I've done for you, I carried you, I cleaned your bum bum, you went to school. If your friend is your co-founder or business partner and is not properly documented, you say, you have to trust me now. So you don't trust me? Bro, I trust you as a friend, but I don't know if I trust you with money. So suddenly a conversation about 5 million isn't about 5 million anymore. Now we are discussing, it's about childhood, it's about loyalty, it's about sacrifice, it's about ego, recognition, and old wounds. This is when business becomes extremely difficult. And this is Dr. Paul helping you build something real without you losing yourself. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one.
Life will test you. Creativity will stretch you. Business will expose you. Strategy will save you. Let's build with intention. Stay brand wise with Dr. Paul.